When you hear the sound of the bell, you know you're in the championship rounds with King Amina Vesic. So let's get to it, ladies and gentlemen. Start off with a recap of some of the European action over the weekend. Fran Hennessy pulled out a very gutsy bout against a tough opponent. Um, maybe ready for a domestic opponent like a Tysie Gallagher, or maybe something a little bit more international like a Shannon O'Connell. Very top heavy division at 122 Super Bantamweight. So everyone is either a former contender or a former champion. So maybe bouts with a former contender like Paulette Cuesta, maybe some of the things that may avail themselves to Hennessy if she's ready for a step up. But Tysie Gallagher may be a great domestic bout. So maybe we'll see that sooner than later. Keeping it in the Super Bantamweight division, Segolene Lefebvre out of France. She captured a WBA Gold after a fifth round technical decision. There's a clash of heads, went to the scorecards. And so here we are. Um, Lefebvre, I forgot which title she previously held, but she has worked her way into a position, I believe, to face Nazarena Romero out of Argentina, who's a full WBA champion. So interesting turn of events and some things happening at 122, maybe in the subsequent weeks or months. Especially following the conclusion of Courtney Motu, we'll see what the super bantamweight landscape looks like. Also, take a look at Kristie Bavvo Bavington. She won a European title. I believe it was a vacant European welterweight division title. She's one of those perennial contenders, definitely a gatekeeper in the most respectful way, and adding a Commonwealth title to her legacy is totally cool for her. So shout out to Bavvo, definitely a fan favorite with a fan friendly fight style. All right. Someone not as successful, and I'm mentioning this because we're going to take a deep dive into the bantamweight division. Not as successful over the weekend was Shannon Courtney. She lost her return, and she didn't physically look much like a bantamweight. No judgment. Um, and some think that that loss may have thrown a monkey wrench into Lou DiBella's whole bantamweight tournament because if it were to play out, Courtney would be the UK representative, if you will, in the absence of Ebanie Bridges, who's currently with child. So, but the reality is Shannon Courtney is for a long time been looking at the outside of the division. Um, so as much as people might have hoped for her to get back on top, once she started losing the Bridges, respectfully, you can kind of see the downward turn. But in the same conversation, congratulating and new Bantamweight IBF champion, which was the belt formerly held by Ebanie Bridges. Shurretta Chiccn Metcalf finally did it, y'all. She did it last night too. So this was a hell of a weekend, but last night was really the culmination of women's boxing highlights for the entire week. So everybody, once you get a chance, go out to Shurretta Metcalf's social medias, both of them, and show her some love for sure. Again, bantamweight division is incredibly talented. We're going to talk more about it later. Um, but let's get to some news and notes. All right. The welterweight division, we know what happened with Sandy Ryan and Michaela Mayer, but there's a champion that has been waiting after acquiring her titles to make a title defense, one Lauren Price. And I believe there's been some speculation that Natasha Jonas, who is the current IBF welterweight champion, and Ivana Habazin, um, she is the current WBC champion, and she has an interim WBA title. All right. Now, Lauren Price is the full WBA. She's the IBO and the Ring Magazine champion. So we could see a scenario if Jonas Habzin does not happen on or around December 14th, we could see a scenario where Price, fights either one of these girls, which would be great. I love to see, any iteration of the three of those ladies in the ring. However, I'd like to see one of these ladies grab their balls and give Sandy Ryan a shot. Not and not. I don't say that because I'm biased towards Sandy Ryan. I say it because I think it would be parity for the division. Mayer gave Ryan an opportunity. She didn't have to do it. None of the other champions did. People don't always return the favor. So let's just hope that somebody's got the balls to give Ryan a shot. And I would love to see Ryan and Price in a domestic matchup. Ryan and Jonas domestic matchup as well. And Ryan and Habazin, that's just a fun fight. So yeah, those are some of the things happening in the welterweight division. Stay tuned. Let's see what happens. I guess in a bizarre world, I'm not trying to insult anybody, but maybe Sandy Ryan versus Kristie Bavington in a a bounce back fight. I mean, what's wrong with that? Bavvo is now a European titleist, so just think about that. Let's consider that in the back of our minds. Let's also consider what was happening in the back of Melissa Odessa Parker's mind when she reportedly popped dirty for PEDs. Now, let's think about it. PEDs could be something as nefarious as some sort of chemical you got from Tijuana or some, pharmacy wizard, or it could be something you simply got from Vitamin Shop or GNC that is against the rules and regs of whatever VADA, USADA, whatever sanctioning body. So, Melissa Odessa, former bantamweight contender, apparently she popped dirty back in June of this year, but was still allowed to fight twice on Team Combat League. So go figure. And this is news number one because, again, former bantamweight contender. The bantamweight division is extremely hot right now. But I think it's also fair to say either A, you'd be surprised how many fighters are willing to cut corners to take advantage, or B, you really, really have to be careful about what you put in your body while you're training. And it could cost you sometimes your reputation, if not some other thing. So let's just keep an eye on that. Like I said, in an already crowded bantamweight division. Now, big news from Senicia Super Bad Estrada. Yes, she's retiring. Again, I'm strongly encouraging her and Chris Mannix to do some family planning. Life is more complete when you can look at your legacy, your progeny, and think of the attributes that you can manifest in your children. It's a wonderful thing. What's not so wonderful is the fact that I think, and many others might agree with me, Estrada's using this retirement to avoid Yokasta Valle, who has marvelously and magnificently, after transitioning, parting ways with Coach G, re-signing with Golden Boy, she worked her way into #1 in each of the sanctioning bodies, and all she wants is a rematch. And what does Senicia Estrada to do? Mind you, there's no other fights on the table. You don't want to go up and fight Jessica Neri Plata. You don't want to fight Kim Clavel. Hell, fight Evelyn Bermudez. You know what I'm saying? Did you fight her already? Because I know Yoka did. I think you did fight Evelyn Bermudez. Who knows? But it's really not much you can do except fight Yokasta Valle. And if you won't do it, good, retire. So, peace. Also, could we see Clarissa Shields saying peace to the light heavyweight division and heavyweight division, as it will, and moving down to 154 as she promised? She said she's coming down to 154 in 2025, and that the girls in that division better not get comfortable. Well, I'm gonna talk about some girls in that division, and maybe if Shields doesn't go after either of these girls I'm going to mention, maybe she'll go after Mary Spencer, knowing that Mary Spencer has a full WBA title now. Or maybe she'll go after Natasha Jonas and the Ring Magazine 154 title. Or she'll go after one of these ladies that I'll mention soon. But that's interesting. The GOAT coming back down to 154. What's gonna happen to the glutes? I don't know. I don't know. But also mentioned potentially in 2025, Terry Harper and Caroline Dubois. Both of these ladies have been talking the potential for this fight up, and I hope that it happens. Let's see if Ben Shalom is ready to come to the table, and let's see if Eddie Hearn will welcome Ben Shalom to the table so that their fighters can give us a fight potentially on another Riyadh season. I could see this the kind of fight going to Riyadh season. Picture Daniel Dubois and Caroline Dubois on the same card in Riyadh season. Yeah. So hopefully, Harper Dubois in 2025. Lots of things to look forward to. So let's look forward to this fight that I mentioned in the super welterweight 154-pound division that has finally been announced. Now, you guys remember my interview with Femke Hermans. She said as much. They were in negotiations with one O'Shea Jones, and this fight has been confirmed for November 22nd in Atlanta. This is going to be great. Great opportunity for Jones. We know she's a young, hungry prospect, ready to make herself into a contender. And this is a great fight. But I got to warn you, O'Shea, Femke is a veteran, used to fighting in enemy territory, has already tasted defeat and subsequently won and after defeat, two division champion. Not, I'm not saying it. I'm just saying remember what's at stake as you prepare. It's going to be a hell of a fight, hell of a fight, hell of a fight. And maybe I'll get a chance to speak with O'Shea Jones prior to this fight, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll also see if it's true what Amanda Serrano said about hers being bigger than Katie Taylor's. Katie Taylor's reportedly getting $6.1 million to fight Amanda Serrano in a rematch that I don't want to see. Don't enjoy it. I'd rather see Amanda Serrano take care of business in the featherweight division or move up and fight Alicia Bumgarner. You know, I love to see those. I love to see Katie Taylor give Chantel Cameron her rightful shot. Because Taylor's backed into an interesting spot. She either has to come down to 35 and defend against Dubois, or stay at 140 and defend against Cameron. And she's doing this. So there's things that both of these girls could be doing. But for the fact that Katie's reportedly getting 6.1 and Amanda could be getting north of 6.5, let's just say they gave Amanda 7. There's a reason why Beamer, Benz, and Bentley, there's a distinction between the GWOAT, KT, and the Queen, Amanda Serrano. There's a clear distinction between the three, and it's not about better or worse. It's just a difference. All right. Serrano proving herself to be the Jay-Z of women's boxing. You ain't gotta like his or her personality, but the opportunities they create in the business savvy is remarkable. As far as Celsius, what she's done for Gabriel Rosado, her and Jordan Maldonado, managing and promoting fighters. I mean, hats off to Amanda Serrano and the hand of the Queen, Jordan Maldonado, for sure. All right. Yeah, it's pretty much it as far as news and notes, what's happening, not happening. But what's happening this weekend and what's not happening is parity in the bantamweight division. So we go from this high where the title changed hands, rightfully so. I don't give a shit what you people online talking about. It was a robbery. You're invested with your heart. I don't know if whatever, just but what we should be invested in again is parity in all divisions. And we got Dina Thorslin, right? Fighting another, respectfully, fucking nobody. Respect to Sarah Seton, respect to Mary Romero. But fighting another fucking nobody in Denmark. Can somebody help this girl get a visa so she can bring her ass over here? Or suppose you don't want to bring your ass over here. You don't want too much sun on you. You love it up in the Nordic country, right? No melanin. You'll burn in the sun. Cool. I got somebody for you. Joanna Wonder won you. And I wonder what it will take to get Dorslin to get her ass up out of Denmark and fucking fight somebody with some credibility. Stop it. Oh, now you're willing to fight Shurretta Metcalf. Sure. But I can imagine, like all champions do, you're going to have to meet Metcalf on her terms now. It isn't going to be automatic. Bring me over to fucking Denmark just because the white whale is beckoning for me. Nah, man, cut that shit out. Get your ass out of your comfort zone. All right. I'd really like to see you, because instead of, nobodies and high contenders and fucking German diplomats' daughters and shit, Joanna Wanyu is a European and Commonwealth champion. So if you're gonna fight somebody, that's who you need to see. Um, and I'll leave it at that, because I don't know who, Terumi Noku. I'm sorry. All right. Because what happens is, a lot of these champions, respectfully, whether it's the Japanese fighters or the German fighters, these guys and gals get a belt and be fucking gone with it. And salute to Mio Yoshida, at least for making stateside her home so we can catch a tiger by his toe. And she had to let that belt go. But the rest of these people that have visa issues, you motherfuckers would love to stay where you at and never have to come and fight where there's more parity and 50-50 action. And I ain't talking about stateside. Go over to the UK. The UK runs women's boxing as far as depth and volume. All right. United States has its fair share of superior talent, but when it comes to depth and volume, the UK's got it. Throws and get your ass over to the fucking UK so I can see what you're made of. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please be sure to drop a like, drop a comment, share this, and remember, women's boxing is boxing, and boxing is this thing of ours. I appreciate you all. Thanks for the feedback and the support. All right. You guys have a great weekend. We'll talk soon.